Have you ever wondered what actually happens when you get scared? For example, imagine you are walking on a road at night and suddenly you see a snake. What happens first? Do you become afraid and then your heart starts beating faster? Or does your heart start beating faster and then you realize, oh my god, I'm scared? Or maybe both happen at exactly the same time. And wait, what if your brain first thinks, is this actually a snake or is it just a rope? And then you become afraid? So, what happens during an emotion? This simple question has actually fascinated psychologists for a very long time. And that's why we have different theories of emotions. Today, we are going to understand five important theories. First, James Lange theory. Second, Cannon-Bard theory. Third, Shasta Singer theory. Fourth, Lazarus cognitive appraisal theory. And fifth, facial feedback theory. हम इनको एक ही सिंपल एग्जाम्पल से समझेंगे. And by the end of this lecture, you will know exactly what comes first in each theory. Before understanding the theories, let's first understand what we mean by emotion. Emotion is a complex psychological state. It involves our feelings, bodily changes, thoughts, and behavior. Let's take fear. Suppose you suddenly hear a loud sound from behind you. You may feel, I'm scared. That's the psychological experience. But at the same time, your body may react. Your heart starts beating faster. You may start sweating. Your breathing may become fast. Your muscles may become tense. And behaviorally, you may turn around, run away, or become alert. So, emotion is not simply something that happens in the mind. Emotion involves the mind as well as the body. And this mind body connection becomes extremely important when we understand the theories of emotion. Why do we need theories of emotions? Suppose I show you a snake. There is a stimulus, and that stimulus is the snake. Then there is a physiological response. That is, your heart starts beating faster, and then there is emotional experience, and that experience is fear. But what happened first? Did the body react first? Or did the emotion come first? Or did thinking come first? Or did everything happen simultaneously? So, different psychologists gave different answers, and that's how these theories developed. And this brings us to the first theory, James Lange theory. This is one of the earliest theories of emotion. It is also a somatic theory. William James and Carl Lange proposed that we experience emotion after experiencing physiological changes in our body. So remember one simple line, body first, emotion later. Okay, let's take a simple example of we see a snake. So here the stimulus is snake. Your body immediately starts responding. Your heart starts beating faster. You start sweating. Your muscles become tense and then you experience fear. So here the sequence is snake, physiological changes, and then fear. In very simple language, I'm afraid because my body is reacting. This is the basic idea of James Lange theory. Let us make it a more relatable. Imagine you are sitting outside your Viva room. You hear examiner calling the next student's name. Your heart starts pounding. Your arms become sweaty. You feel there's something going in your stomach which is uncomfortable. And then you think, oh God, I'm nervous. According to James Lange, your bodily reaction plays a very important role in producing the emotional experience. So, body first, emotions follow. So, James Lange theory states that emotions result from the perception of physiological changes produced by a stimulus. So, James Lange means body first. Now, let's understand the second theory, Cannon-Bard theory. Now, another psychologist came along and said, wait a minute, is it really necessary that the body reacts first and emotion comes later? According to Cannon-Bard theory, the emotional experience and physiological response occurs simultaneously. That means both happen together. So let's go back to our snake example. You see the snake and almost instantaneously you experience fear and your heart starts beating faster. So the sequence here becomes snake, fear and physiological response. So after the snake, you experience fear as well as bodily changes at the same time. Here, it is not body first or emotion first. It is both occurring simultaneously. Think of it like two lights switching on at the same time. One light is emotion and the other light is your physiological response or bodily response, as we can call it. Here you press the switch and both turn on. Let's take an everyday example. Imagine someone suddenly comes from behind and scares you. What happens? You become frightened and your heart jumps. Are you going to say, wait, let me check my heart rate and then I become scared? No, it happens almost simultaneously. That is the basic idea behind Cannon-Barr. So, in James Lange theory, I see the snake, my body reacts, then I experience fear. Whereas in Cannon-Barr theory, I see the snake, fear and bodily reaction both happen simultaneously. That is the difference. Now let's understand the third theory, Shastra-Singer theory. It is also called as the two-factor theory. Now this is a cognitive theory. The other two, which we have already studied, are the somatic theory. Now we come to a very interesting theory, Shastra-Singer theory, also called as two-factor theory of emotion. In this theory, one more important ingredient is added, which is cognition, or simply how we interpret what is happening. According to this theory, emotion depends on two things. First is physiological arousal, and second, cognitive interpretation or labeling of that arousal. So, physiological arousal plus cognition is equal to emotion. Let's simply understand this with a very simple example. Here, we have the same body but different emotion. Imagine you are waiting backstage before going for a presentation. So here, your heart is beating fast, your palms are sweaty, you are breathing a little faster. Now you ask yourself, what emotion are you experiencing? You might say, I'm scared. But imagine, exactly the same physical sensations are happening because you are about to meet someone you really like. Here also, heart beating fast, palms sweaty, breathing faster. Now you might say, I'm excited. Same physiological arousal, but different interpretation and different emotion. Now let's get back to the same example of snake. Okay, you see something long and moving. Your heart starts beating fast. Now your brain asks, what is happening? You look carefully and you realize, oh, it's a snake. You interpret the physiological arousal in the context of danger and you experience fear. Now suppose you are in a wildlife park and you are standing behind a protective glass wall. You see the same snake. Your heart may still beat faster, but now you think, wow, that's fascinating. The emotional experience can be very different because the context and interpretation are different. Let's take one more example that every medical student can relate to. You are sitting outside the Viva room. Here, your heart is racing. One student thinks, I'm definitely going to forget everything. That student experiences anxiety. Now take another student. He has prepared well. Let's see what happens, is what this person thinks. So here the physiological arousal may still be present, but the interpretation is different. Your physiological arousal is your Viva room and your number being called next. And your interpretation here is different. So in Shastra-Singer theory, we don't simply react to our body's arousal. We also interpret it. So Shastra-Singer theory is also known as two factors theory, where first is physiological arousal and second is cognitive interpretation. So here the shortcut to remember this is body plus thinking, which is equal to emotion. Now this brings us to the fourth theory, Lazarus cognitive appraisal theory. Now we come to the theory proposed by Richard Lazarus. And this theory gives a very important role to cognitive appraisal. As the name itself is suggesting, this is also a cognitive theory. Appraisal simply means how we evaluate or interpret a situation. In our mind, we are constantly asking questions like, is this dangerous? Or is this safe? Or can I handle this? Or is this good for me? Is this bad for me? And an emotional response can depend on that appraisal. Here, the situation is same, but the emotions are different. Let's take an examination. Two students receive exactly the same question paper. Student number one looks at it and says, "Oh, this is easy. I know most of this." What does the student experience here? It is confidence, maybe happiness, excitement. Now, we take student number two who looks at the exactly same question paper and thinks, "Oh God, I don't know anything. I'm going to fail." What does the student experience? Here it is anxiety, nervousness. So the examination is same, the question paper is same, but there is different appraisal, different emotional response. So situation remains same, interpretation is different, and so the emotion is different. This is the central idea of Lazarus cognitive appraisal theory. Now let's take the same example of snake. Now imagine you are walking through a forest. You see something that looks like a snake. Your brain evaluates the situation. Is it dangerous? If you believe, yes, that's a poisonous snake and I'm in danger, then you experience fear. But suppose you look at it carefully and realize, oh, it's just a rope. The situation is completely reinterpreted and the emotional response changes. So Lazarus places great emphasis on appraisal. Let's differentiate between Shasta Singer and Lazarus theory. Students do often get confused here. They both involve cognition because these are both cognitive theories. So what's the difference? Shasta Singer says physiological arousal and cognitive labeling leads to emotion, whereas Lazarus focuses strongly on cognitive appraisal of the situation leading to emotional response. To make it easier, Shasta Singer is equal to arousal plus label and Lazarus is equal to appraisal of the situation. Let's understand the fifth theory, facial feedback theory. And this one is especially interesting because it involves something we do every single day, our facial expressions. We usually say, "I'm happy, therefore I smile." But facial feedback theory asks us to look at it in the opposite direction. Could smiling itself influence how happy we feel? According to this theory, changes in our facial muscles provide feedback to our brain and can influence our emotional experience. Imagine that you are having a terrible day. You are irritated, you are tired, and suddenly your friend tells you something funny. You smile, you continue smiling, and slowly your mood starts changing. Now you start feeling a little better. This theory suggests that the changes in your facial muscles can send feedback to your brain and influence your emotional state. Imagine you're walking down a dark alley late at night. You hear footsteps behind you. Your eyes become wide, your teeth clench, your facial muscles become tense. Your brain interprets these facial changes as part of the expression of fear, and you experience fear. So here, facial expression is not merely an outward display of emotion. It can also contribute to the emotional experience. Now think about anger. When you are angry, what happens to your face? Your eyebrows may come together, your jaw may tighten, your facial muscles become tense. According to facial feedback theory, these facial changes can reinforce the emotional experience. Similarly, smiling can contribute to a more positive emotional state. Now, one thing is important. This theory does not mean that every time you smile, you will suddenly become extremely happy. And it doesn't mean facial expressions are the only cause of emotions. Emotions are much more complex. Our brain, body, thoughts, memories, experiences, and surroundings can all contribute. The facial feedback theory simply highlights an important point. Our facial expressions can influence our emotional experience. Now let's put all five theories together. James Lange is body first. Cannon-Bard is body plus emotion together. Shasta Singer says body plus thinking. Lazarus says appraisal or thinking. And facial feedback theory says face leads to feedback, leads to emotion.